And we're back once again. My phone overheated. So aristocrat is someone well learned and all that. You know, in our aristocracy isn't like that. You know, we're not going back to the Aristotelian way of thinking, you know. Our Western values are being eroded, corroded. So I don't know, there's a polarity shift. Seems a little bit more subversive. I have my faith, but I do like the great thinkers of the past, you know, that we based our entire way of Western living and thought, Western thought process on. Like Aristotle followed in his mentor's footsteps. I think Plato too. I think Plato came a lot longer, or before Aristotle. I think Aristotle was a student of Plato. But regardless, all three of them, which is Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, some of the greatest minds to ever exist, believed in the one cause. Yeah. Before our Lord, Nuestro Señor Jesucristo, hallowed be his name, came, you know, they believed in the one cause and not the pantheon. They believed in a one thing caused all of this. You know? And it's interesting that the other day I saw on YouTube, it was one of those things where you can hold onto or hover over the thumbnail, and then you can get like a trailer of the video thing. And I was talking about a time before the Big Bang and how it's called inflation. I don't know if throughout my years I've heard this term or not, but this is the first time I can recall hearing it. It's called inflation, which is the time before the Big Bang. So how did we get to the Big Bang and all that? I didn't watch the video. I might. It's in my YouTube history, so I could go see what it is. But what I'm gonna speak on is the fact that that's in the Bible already. All these great minds that we have here, thinking that like, oh look, man has found this, that, and the third, and it's like, okay, the Big Bang started out, I think it was a Jesuit priest that formulated the Big Bang theory, and then it was co-opted by atheists because they're like, oh, this sounds actually reasonable, but it's too Christian oriented. It's too Christian themed. It makes sense, even in a biblical setting, the scientific notion of the Big Bang. So they secularized it. But in Genesis, right, chapter 1, I think it's chapter 1. Look at me being a bad Christian. I don't even know my Bible right, but it's in Genesis. What I'm going to say is how in the beginning, God, you know, in the beginning there was nothing. And then God said, let there be light. And so the Big Bang is that verse right there, the let there be light. So in the beginning, right? So in the beginning, this didn't exist. In the beginning there was darkness, and then God said, let there be light. So before the Big Bang, there's a period. And there was darkness. before he said, let there be light. So there's already that. There is prior to the Big Bang. And then I'm pretty sure they're going to find, because it's already in the Bible, a period before inflation, before the Big Bang, you know, as they would call it. It's in the Bible because it says in the beginning. Now, God sits outside of time. So even before the beginning, God existed. So there's a period of time before the beginning. And now this is a concept that I'm pretty sure the greats, they probably already discussed this. It's just that we're too dumb because we're too far removed from the source, because they were closer. If not in straight distance, which time is just a unit of measurement. It's the time, you know, it's the duration of X getting to Y. That's time. It's a unit of measurement. So it is not so much as what time it is. It's not so much of a when, it's so much of a where. It is a unit of measurement. So they were probably both physically, mentally, and spiritually closer to the source. So they probably didn't have all these questions, not because they didn't ask these questions, but because they already knew the answer. It's like when you ask a kid, hey there, little Timmy, you want to go hurt yourself? And little Timmy's like, no. And then it's like, why not? And it's like, because that hurts. And you don't need to explain that to little Timmy. You don't need to explain that concept. They already know. Now you may need to know, you need to explain the nuances, like, yo, little Timmy, don't stick that fork in that thing because you're going to get electrocuted, which hurts. And so you just gotta be like, because they're curious, right? But they understand the concept inherently. Oh, it's gonna hurt bad. Don't do that. Whereas something like, oh, there was a time before time before time, they would be like, yeah, that's a silly question. Like, everybody knows that. That's why we don't ask that. It's pretty commonplace. It's just common knowledge. Everybody knows that. And yet, in Western thought, you know, we become so human-centric, so human-oriented. All these questions that an ancient wouldn't even have bothered to ask.